Hello there everyone, this is I Am Mark III and welcome. Yes indeed, welcome. Welcome to Cliff Empire. So, yes, it's been a while since we've seen this game, but you know, it's still around, it's still a good one, and it's still in active development because this is version 1.9.18. I knew that this was a good developer, but there's nothing that proves it quite like the fact the game is still in active development even after it's been released. And Cliff Empire is most definitely better for it. Yes. Now, this is going to be a run-through until either I get wrecked so bad I can't survive, or I decide I am satisfied with how my cities have progressed. So, I don't know how long this little series is going to be, but we are going to build very lonely cities in very high places in a post-apocalyptic world. Of a kind. Because Cliff Empires doesn't quite follow conventions in that kind of way. But we're going to be monkeying around with that as well. So, Cliff Empires, ladies and gents. I don't know why I said empires, it's empire, but yes. Let us go and resettle this world. New game. Yes. After a nuclear war in the past decade, the surface of the Earth was covered with a layer of radioactive mists. Several thousand people found shelter on an orbital station. Those who stayed had time to build artificial cliffs on the surface, to give a chance for the future generations to return home. And now we have game set up. So yes, there's new things here. We can unlimit all our money. We can have all buildings from the start. There is actually building unlock progression now, beyond just the tech tree. We can do orbital orders, natural disasters, marauders. So that's something new. The marauders are something, and I'm going to turn that up to 11 with regular marauder attacks as well. Also, time is ticking away in the background. Right, so we could actually play this like a kind of tower defense game if we so cared to. I have no idea what that one's like, but I have poked around a bit, so I do have an idea of what's going on. We will not be sandboxing though, we will be in default mode, so we have to build our city and we have to try and keep it alive. So there we go. I'll also pause because we've wasted pretty much the first day. Now, something I recall mentioning when I did this as a mini-series, oh so long ago, you know, that's like 5 episodes over the course of a week and then just switch to a different game, is the fact you have to restart it every time. Like, you'd have to go back to the main menu, then come back into here if you didn't like the cliff layout. That's been changed since last I played. So yeah, there's now a generate level button, and you can click this as often as you like to reset the islands. There are some new islands in there as well compared to previous versions, so yes, the number of islands has expanded. And that will last until you start trying to build on one. And then that feature locks itself. So you can change the islands around until you're happy with it, and then once you start trying to work on it, there you go, it locks out, which is... This is such a welcome addition. So let's just see if we can get something good. I want to start off in the middle island because that's how I like to play it. Like one super island kind of thing. Yeah, this will work because I was also looking for one with water, so we could get fishing and stuff. However, I think, yeah, the shape is familiar. Spire, I don't remember this bit being here, but I think this is one that I did in the mini-series, at the very least, or I've done on video content. So, no, I'm not going to keep that one. I think I have my volume a little bit too high. Let's do it down slightly. There we go, that's better. Right, I'm looking for one in the middle as... this is a new one. Yes, this is a new one called Cascade, which is kind of like waterfalls and things, except there's no waterfalls. Oh wait, unpause it, and there it goes. Very tempting that. However, there's Also, no real space for making use of the water for fish. Does this island have fish? I recall I can click up here. Fish, 0%. So yeah, it has water, but it doesn't actually have fish. Which is a shame. It's looking like it might have to go with Spire. Oh, here's one we've got. Heaven Water, maybe? I recall one that I really liked. Let's keep looking for it. Ooh, that's a long one. I know. Riveting gameplay, this. This is a new one as well, by the way. It's Obelisk, a triangle-shaped one. Ah, here we go. I was looking for the conjoined islands. So, the two coasts. Because I like this one. It's like a bigger arrangement. And we've also got Heaven Water on the side here as well. So that is actually quite good. I think I'll do this. There's underwater plant life down there. I don't remember that last time. Cool. But yeah, things have been touched up quite a bit. And as I mentioned, there's new buildings and things as well. But anyway, let's go with this one. And as the central location, we have got the northern coast. So, well, I think it's North Coast. N-O-R. The problem is my recording symbols are in the way. I think that's North Coast. So, let us go. We will go on to this one. As soon as I actually start clicking around with buildings and things, that will remove the Generate button. So, let's begin. We, of course, need a landing platform. And, yep, notice the buttons. It's removed my ability to reset the islands now. There is another useful feature, though, which is, with bridges and things, I commented previously, I recall, about how there was no way to tell where it was going to land. But now, you actually get a little camera. Another very welcome addition. So I'd build off from here to reach the next island over, and I can see exactly where the bridge is going to link to it. Same as I turn it around this way, I can see exactly where it's going to go over there. Actually, the protection between these is a little bit odd, but not much to be done about that one. It's not quite right, but it tells me enough to know where I want to put things. So we must begin our city, our Cliff Empire, with, of course, landing pad, which allow us to bring in the population. Let's build it. I guess there. Yep. Because then we can have a bridge across there and a bridge across there. Let's actually lay in a couple of bridges as well. Just because. Just so we've got them there, but we're going to pause them so that they don't get built up straight away. I'm trying to decide how much to sacrifice. This is going to be the core island, so I think I'll sacrifice more of the other islands. I think the other island's got a bit more space anyway. Yeah, I think it's slightly more space on that. But I'm going to sacrifice a little bit of space on here. Just to get it. Actually, do I want it like that? Let's do it like that. Okay, yeah. No. Don't worry, I'll make up my mind sooner or later. I don't want it right up against the edge, though. So, that will do for now. I've given up a small block, which is a 4x4 on the mini hex, on either end to where the bridge is going to lie. But I'm also going to disable construction, so I don't build this until I want it. And I might as well do the same on the other side as well. There we go. And I'll do the same this away. So, I don't know how much you guys might recall from previously, but these bridges allow us to trade resources between our cities, since we get, of course, 3 separate cities with our own separate economies, all that jazz. But bridge connections allows movement of goods. There's a new trade item called the Trade Shuttle, which I have no idea what it does. An additional way to deliver large quantities of goods to any place requires uranium for refilling. Slightly odd wording there, but that's refueling. But that's actually nice. One of my previous comments on it was how I'd like to see more ships in the game. And between this and the Marauders, we've got that now. We've got a lot more of the bigger ships. Oh, yay. In fact, so many of the things I asked for or said would be nice have appeared. Part of me wonders if the devs might have actually stumbled across my video series at some point, but I don't know, because it's all stuff I said would be good. Let's see. I think let's just build it next to it, make it nice and compact. Yeah. Disable construction. Disable construction. So at the very least, we've got those links in place, ready to go, as soon as we want them. But that said, these bridges I think get in the way of a new building type, which is one we'll unlock through the event progression, which is you survive events, you will naturally get new tech trees or things unlocked, which are what these medallion things are. Collect honor points to unlock. So when I hit 3, that'll unlock by itself. That's as far as I've done, because I was just poking around to see exactly what was going on. But this is like buildings which can go on the side of the cliffs. So you can actually you can cram more stuff into these cities than ever before, which is great. Now, let's continue. I want to get to the storage, of course, central storage location of my city. And, of course, as central storage, it wants to be central. Shocker. And I think I'll place it 2? Am I only going to have, like, 2? I'm thinking about where I want to have pathways and things. Since, of course, I want to prettify my city. Let's just pop it there. Large construction. And here comes the big ship, which I liked from the moment I first saw it. Just dropping the scaffolding into it. Resources in orbit are limited. Use them wisely to create a settlement on Earth. And off it goes. I would suspect you only get to see that ship 3 times, but I think there is actually a way you can see it more often. Seeing as the Marauders, if they manage to get past your city, I know this because while having a quick look at those, I actually managed to fail in stopping them. If their main ship in an attack gets through, it actually picks up your storage depot and flies off with it. So either that kills the city, or you can rebuild it from orbit. I'm not sure which applies here, but it is a thing. Anyway, that's up. It's working on the thing. What I'm thinking is, it might be a good idea to try and develop other cities as we go, seeing as this is a series rather than a... Oh. You can rename the cities now. Okay, that's nice. Okay, so I'm going to develop the other cities as we go as well. So we want to have more cities in progress. So with housing, get a res complex. There's some new housing and things, like there's eco housing, which provides a bunch of its own stuff, so it keeps it self-supplied, it just has less tenants. And so it's more aesthetic as well. Personal villas, which has personal transport. With using it, you can fly, enjoying speed, beauty, and passing through the geometry. There are some typos, I've noticed, but personal villa is a 4-space, but it's... Oh, my personal house! Ooh. But then we've got some small things like 5 and 10 tenants in manor houses and things. Beautiful, very inefficient. So there's different options, and literally earlier this week, historical city blocks got added as well, which is more of a modern day kind of thing, like current modern day. Historical style gives a small place to live, but attracts tourists and enhances aesthetics. I don't have any idea how tourists work, just to be clear. I don't recall that function. But anyway, we've got them. And what I wanted is housing, so let's get a residential complex up. I'm thinking... here. Perfect. And then we can have one there next to it as well. But that's for the future. We still need to get the city off the ground. Also, there's the godlights, of course, so Beware! I light you up from orbit. Aha! Don't look upwards because it's a really strong flashlight. Oh yes, just get the deliveries around. That'll get that housing complex up. And I also remember that I actually wanted a trading portal up as soon as possible as well, because then that gives me access to a way to sell off stuff for money. Even if it is a daily thing, it's still like really important to have that. Oh yeah, that's perfect. But more importantly at first though, is matter mines. So I will prioritise the residential complex because that is more important to get built than the mines, since without the complex we don't have any people to actually run the mines and get building material for us. Let's speed this up. But yeah, I do like having the landing pads centralised on this stuff, which is why I've done it here, and then I'll need the subways to link to other places. Though the subways themselves, what do they cost? Like 20 and 450? What's a new landing pad cost?
Large construction
15 and 350. And remember, subways is actually double the cost because you have to build it at both sides. Hello, people. Who are actually now little 3D models rather than like moving static images like they used to be. I don't think they need pathways around the city though. Or at least I don't think they do. I've not really been looking too close.
Objective completed.
15 citizens, got that, yes. Next up, surplus power. I want the city to last and be a hub kind of thing, so there's only one way you get to be a hub of the world, and that is, of course, nuclear power. Well, I could build the other stuff, but nuclear power is just like, it's more expensive to start out with, flat out, and it does nasty things to the ecology, but it, you know, it's a lot of power, and that's why I want it. Let's build that there, I guess. Yep, that'll do. Yep. Goodbye, orbital shuttle. And let's speed up again. So, we've got that. We're running on battery power, of course, which is only going to last us so long, especially since I'm about to do some more anti-ecology stuff, because I don't quite have enough workspaces, so I need more matter. And that's the stuff in here. Now, I could be responsible and make it better for the ecology, or I could just flat out tack an extra mine onto it, which just stacks debris. I actually did this in my refresher poking around. That is debris. You can refine 3 debris to get 1 matter. So it's essentially it's 1.1 2/3 matter extraction. That, as long as you refine the debris as well. Or I can build a powered one, which needs more people, needs more power, is worse for the ecology, which double drill is not, by the by. But you flat out get +1 to raw material extraction, so it doubles the output flat without any further processing needed. Since we're starting out, I'll go for that. Let's go for powered drills. Just because flat out we want to get more material without having to build extra supporting infrastructure. We can always replace those things later if we need to, but that has also greatly increased our power requirement. Hence why nuclear power is the option. Well, option is what I'm going for.
Huge construction complete.
But there we go, that's also massively increased that, so
Objective completed.
let's boost my residential complex to house more people. Surplus power. We're wasting that surplus power, we need a battery. But we also need that trading post as well. Trading portal. I'm thinking let's pop that next to the nuclear reactor. Well, actually, for optimum use, honestly, we want it to be near the storage, if we can. I'm thinking about there would be a good idea. Or do we want to turn it around like that? How are the paths going to go? We want a path going along here. I think it's going to have to be like this, because I've messed up slightly on the paths. Actually, I can put it there, can't I? Yeah, I could just put it right here. 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. That'll do. Oh, stolen, -21. Yeah, this is why we kind of want this thing up ASAP. We can barely afford it now with everything else we've spent. But depending on how your city's going, you actually suffer from theft. And that can deplete your reserves rather badly if you don't have a source of income. So this must get built immediately before I lose any more money at the end of this current day. And so, you know, can't do anything. Come on, people. I need to trade. I need to flog the hard work of my people.
New
Sorry,
citizens arrive.
my peons.
Huge construction
There we
completed.
go.
Trading platform arrived.
Right. I thought I only had like 800. It was actually 8,000. I was missing a 0. But yeah, here we go. Trade platform. Let's actually pause this so we can go into this and set this up a little bit. Our current storage limits are 50 of each good type. So, what I can do quite easily is just have this thing automatically selling off my excess. So, water, 78. I'm not producing that right now, but I'll sell if I've got more than 50. I'll do the same for grain, which I'll be setting up pretty shortly because we need a food supply. Batteries I will also sell off if we have more than 50. And then we could sell off matter if we wanted to. I mean, because we've got 2 powered mines, that's running pretty well, but matter, we're going to be needing that for the foreseeable future, so we'll do that. We'll also priority 1 this thing, because when the trade platform arrives, it's a time limit before it departs, if anyone remembers that. Though if we want to sell more than this, we can also set up one-time purchases and sales. So we could buy things as... Oh, I'm out of uranium. Okay, that's my next building project, I suppose. We need batteries to start generating those for sale, because we've got a flipping nuclear power plant. You know, got to use that nuclear power somewhere. So, yes. I think I'll attach that to the side there, actually. And I can also, I don't know if this was in it before, but I can actually flip around any building I want to without having to demolish it. So like, these guys to work the trade platform, they're flying that way. I could actually change that to reduce it by turning around the trading portal. So now it's like that instead. If I misbuild something, I can just flip it around if I want to, which is great. But yeah, come on guys. There goes the trade platform.
Small
That's
construction
done.
completed.
We're now generating batteries, which is great. It's also next tutorial objective as well, so that's fine. However, there is that whole uranium thing going on. And we need uranium for the landing platform, as well as the nuclear power generator. So, that's why that is our next project, a uranium mine. I don't know if it's changed since last time I played, but I recall this particular city was one of the ones rich in uranium. So I'm going to put this, I think here. Yeah, let's tuck the uranium plant. Actually, yeah, let's tuck it here. Just turning it around to the bits like that. There we go. And that's our next construction project, which will of course feed into the power plant and the landing pad. And since we've been making it, I'm going to sell uranium if we get an excess of that going on. Yep. Okay, this is coming along quite nicely. However, our housing is actually full as well, so we do need to expand on that at least a little
Large
bit.
construction completed.
Yeah, because unless we've got actually 15 spots free, we don't get a dropship coming in. I think I'll put it... might as well put it there like that.
Trading platform arrived.
The first wave is going to be coming somewhat soonish, but I think we're in good stock to deal with it. I mean, we've got income, we've got trade going on, we've got uranium being harvested, we've got a working population. So yeah, we do need to get some defences going up. There's not many defensive options at the start, but there is enough to deal with things. My personal headcanon is, though, that the Marauders might I don't think they're a rival faction as such from the orbital platforms. My thought is, since they come here to attack us and to nick our supplies, what if they are the last vestiges of the of people from the surface of some kind? Like they are a faction that was abandoned in the nuclear dust. They survived somehow, and so they want the things that we, the ones that the privileged few that escaped the disaster and are now coming back to basically steal all this stuff from them. They want that. They want the materials. It'll help them survive. Yada yada. So they're coming and they are just taking it, basically. Bunch of jerks. But yeah, first wave timer is ticking up pretty rapidly, and I don't have anything in place to stop it just yet. There are options for that though, in the security section of the tree. I'm just considering if I should build something else first, like we've not beautified our city yet. I think let's beautify our city a little bit first. So, we can build the pedestrian streets. There is actually now a half pedestrian street as well, something else I wanted. It's easy to fit in compared to the standard one. There is also the colonnade, which is a different version, which is great. It's like raised gardens and things, or rather like plant life and stuff. So a regular street gives you entertainment and aesthetics. The colonnade gives you more aesthetics and ecology, which, since I've built a nuclear power plant and a lot of mines, is actually suffering a bit. So this is great for beautifying the settlements some more. You know, I just gotta think of where to put it. So main path is there. So I'm thinking let's go ahead and pop a couple of these. Like that. There is no absolute mini thing, so if you've messed up your city placement like I believe I have here, it's not going to absolutely correct anything. If there was like a very small thing you could put in, like is that a no? Like like half of a path, that would be the last little addition I think would be needed. Like, even if it's like a very small pavement area or a small fountain or something. But even this is like one of those. It's one of those triangle pieces. So yeah, something half the size of a pedestrian street. I don't know if that's in, but I think that would be the last set piece needed to complete your path network, kind of thing. But still, let's keep on going though. We need defensive turrets. Above all else at the moment, because even the first wave of marauders, they can wreck your city really hard, which is why I'm concerned about it. And I'm also just looking at episode timer as well, but let's get these things laid in now. So actually there's a maintenance center. I've not built that. Might be a good idea, seeing as we've got, you know, a nuclear reactor chugging away in the background. It might be a worthwhile idea to have one of those installed. Just a little bit. Just a little bit. I think I'm going to put it in. Let's build it there, nice and central. Just so if things catch fire, that'll fix it. But yeah. Anyway, sorry about that. There's also a floating one which you can put into the water. So there's some underwater buildings and things as well. But here we go. Defensive turrets and missile silos. Several targets at once causing significant damage. Kind of slower rate of fire, but as you see, they need power and workplaces, and they have a penalty to aesthetics to stuff nearby. That said, though, missile silos, they have longer reach than the defensive turrets, and they are a triangle block, so you can fit two of them in the same place as one defensive turret. But they have a slow rate of fire. They can't even deal with the smallest ships easily. So a couple of missile launchers alone can't deal with the first wave. What you want is ideally defensive turrets. Also, I've just realised I don't want that thing there because this is where connections to that city are. So I might have to bulldoze that later. But in the meantime, let's actually lay down some defences.
Tiny construction completed.
So that one's going to protect from that side. This is the reason I have a little gap here, because I'm thinking like some defensive guns along this bit here would be a good idea. So let's build one there as well, which can help to defend from that side. No, it's highlighting the bridge. Missile silo. I'm going to tuck one just into that corner there. So the first thing people see when they get off the shuttle is a missile silo, which I'm sure is going to advertise the safety of the city very nicely. And just to help make sure that this area doesn't get hit too hard, I'm going to put a defensive gun over here as well. I'm thinking here. So yeah, I'm going to build like I wonder what that was. It's just raining outside. So yeah, these three different sides. I've got a defensive gun in each, and I've also got a single missile silo. Actually, we can tack in another one just to be sure. Or we can tack one in there as well. 3 defensive guns, 2 missile silos to help cover it, and the wave is very rapidly approaching now. However, oh, look at those things just like rising up now. There's already a little bit of greenery added to the essentials of the city, but I'm going to have to stop it there because we are at the half-hour mark now, I am quite sure. So, you guys will get to see the first wave of marauders next time. Yes, part 2, when we actually get attacked. This has been Iron Mark 3. Thank you all very much for watching. Hope you guys are enjoying the show. Feel free to like, subscribe, smash that bell button, or not. It's entirely up to you guys if you choose to follow the YouTube nonsense in that way or not. But yeah, thanks for watching, and see you all later.
Small construction
Bye-bye.
completed.
Oh, our first gun is ready. Little defensive gun. Oh.